At this time, we're coming out of executive session into regular session. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Board members, you've received a copy of our minutes from the last meeting. I need a motion for approval.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mr. Frazier?
Mrs. Matthews?
Yes.
Mr. Sprague?
Yes.
Mrs. Baker?
Yes.
Mr. Davidson?
Yes.
Mr. Isgrove?
Yes.
I believe we have someone from the city here. Michael Ryan? Come on up, Michael.
Good evening.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
So nice to see you guys. I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. So City Council had one of our meetings last night. The last one of the year will be next Wednesday. So we actually are winding the year down. And we got some budget numbers back, and I think it would be very notable to announce that, first of all, we are structurally balanced going into next year. Income tax is up 16%. So this is just a testament to City Council's commitment to furthering Hamilton, pro-business, bringing in jobs, bringing in businesses, retaining these jobs. Also a big testament to the school's commitment to helping us fill those jobs with the program Chris Cannell is doing. So we got a lot of employers that want to keep those chairs filled, and why not keep those filled with the future generation? So thank you for your help on that. We've also have approved some additional property that's going to help us proceed with building our new police department. So we're going to see a lot of significant movement on that here after the first of the year, and it's going to be really exciting, especially for the police force and for the city. That is something we've been working on for a long, long time, and I know, Steve, you've probably been around when those talks started. So
It's not in a grocery store anymore.
right. No grocery stores. No grocery stores. I do want to mention congratulations to Hamilton High School. Understand that junior ROTC was awarded as a distinguished unit with honors from the Department of Navy. So congratulations. That's great. I personally have had the opportunity with working with that group on a couple of veterans events at AMVETS here in Hamilton, and stellar folks. That being said, we're looking at a fantastic 2023. Right now, it will be very, very busy. Fortunately, looks like maybe in January we'll be able to start announcing some really key developments and economic development opportunities. So things are really heating up. It's going to be a fun year. We're excited. We're excited that we're going to continue to work with you guys on a lot of great things. So thank you, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. So we will see you guys in January.
Thank you, Michael. I'm looking forward to hearing all the new stuff that's coming,
that's
coming
gonna be
about.
great.
But I appreciate you coming out and talking with us
Oh,
tonight.
no problem. Thank you.
And you have a great Christmas, too.
Thanks.
Thanks. Mr. Holbrook.
Yes, President Sprague, tonight we have two presentations from Highland and Linden Elementary, and we're going to start with Highland Elementary, and Ryan Britton, I believe, is here. Ryan?
Well, good evening. Thank you so much for having us here tonight. I want to introduce my team that's here with us tonight. It takes a village, and I am so proud of the team here that's going to talk about all the wonderful things that we've done at Highland over the last year since last time that I had a chance to speak with you. So first, we have Mrs. Lawson, our assistant principal. We have our two coaches here, Mrs. Rebecca Ware, a math coach, as well as Mrs. Megan Wagonfield, our literacy coach. And we also have Mrs. Amanda White here, who's our Student and Family Support Specialist. I want to thank President Sprague and Mrs. Baker, as well as Mr. Isgro, Mrs. Matthews, and Mr. Davidson for all you do for our schools and our community, as well as Mr. Holbrook and Mr. Wright and Mr. Frazier. Thank you for everything you do, and Mrs. Blevins as well. I'd be remiss to not say thank you to her as well. And personally, I want to thank you again for this principalship. You know, year one was a lot about listening and learning the community, getting to know the school, the students, and the staff. But year two is exciting. That's when we get to dive in, make some changes that go towards our mission and growth. And that's what we're here to talk about tonight. As you can see, this year, our theme is Legos, building a bright future together. And that's what it takes. Together, we can do incredible things. So I'd like to invite Mrs. Lawson on up to talk about how this whole process got started over last summer.
Hi, everyone. I am Ellie Lawson. I'm the assistant principal at Highland. This is my first year at Highland, and this past June, I got to meet with our building leadership team, our BLT. We gathered for our staff retreat at Houston Woods with the purpose of diving into our student data and our building's needs. We looked closely at the District's One Plan, our students' map data, and the results of a survey that was taken by the members of our BLT. There were common needs from the survey where teachers identified they wanted an increase in community engagement, increased opportunities for them to analyze the data and identify successful teaching strategies, and for increased opportunities for collaboration within their teaching teams. This BLT group consisted of both veteran teachers and newbie teachers, which provided an understanding of Highland's rooted past as well as bright visions for Highland's future. This team was dedicated and determined to ensure that all of our arrows were aligned as we look towards the bright future. From this retreat, we created a new mission for Highland. Leading our community with pride, we strive for growth by increasing student and family engagement and creating a safe, fun, and challenging learning environment. We knew that to embody this, we would have to focus on these three building blocks: success for all students, increased positive behavior intervention supports, and an increased focus on community. Our first building block was ensuring success for all of our students. Our first step in doing this was to look closely at our instructional practice and our strategies going on in our classrooms. To provide insight into this process, we'll have Becca Ware talk to you a little bit about our TBT process.
It's crazy to me. I can be a teacher and be in front of 92 sixth graders, no problem, but in front of eight adults, I'm a nervous wreck. Sorry, just had to get it out there. Anyways, my name is Becca Ware. I've been a math coach at Highland Elementary 3 years and feel incredibly blessed to be working in such an amazing building with an amazing team. One of the areas that we chose to focus on this year is our TBT process. TBT, or teacher-based teams, is made up of grade-level teachers, coaches, and administrators. We meet every 2 weeks discussing grade-level standards and Tier 1 instruction and high-yield instructional strategies. With the help of the wonderful Megan Horstmeyer, we restructured our TBT form to make it more of a process rather than just numbers and talking points to meet the needs of all the students at Highland Elementary. This process allows teachers to dive into their grade level standards, but also gives them an opportunity to reflect on their own teaching practices. That was important for all of us up here. The purpose is to foster authentic discussion around standards and real-time student data with all grade level teams. Through the plan, do, study, and act process, we can ensure teachers understand what the standards are asking of them as the instructor and of the students, what students are being asked to do or to produce, as well as how to respond when students don't show understanding of the standards, but also how to challenge those students who do understand. Through this process, we're seeing an increase in collaboration across co-teaching teams, grade level teams, administrators, and coaches. And now the amazing Megan Wagenfield will be talking about the other wonderful things that Highland is doing to improve student and teacher success. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. I'm Megan Wagenfield. This is my 3rd year as the literacy coach here at Highland, and I absolutely love getting to work with our staff and students each and every day. So, Becca talked about our TBT process. I'm going to talk about our 2 other targeted areas. The first instructional focus has been on our learning walks. So these are frequent learning walks, or quick classroom observations that we make as a team, and we're focusing on 3 areas: student engagement and collaboration, the level of rigor, and the amount of student voice versus teacher voice. We run a really good balance between the two. The data we collect through a simple Google form will help us drive our conversations in BLT, but also helps direct our building PDs that we offer in the building based on instructional needs. Our final instructional focus is on our grade level data chats. Us coaches and admin meet once a month with each grade level to discuss student data. And as opposed to our TBT meetings, which focuses on Tier 1, our grade level data chats have a Tier 2 focus, focusing on targeted students, those falling short of expectation and those also exceeding expectation. We discuss targeted interventions as well as enrichment opportunities to ensure all students are getting the instruction they deserve and need. We also discuss progress monitoring tools and data to ensure our interventions are successful. And if they're not, we brainstorm alternate interventions that might help. We actually can't wait for our winter map testing window. We are confident that growth will be high with all these instructional building blocks put in place. So now we're going to hear from Mrs. White about all the support systems we have for our students.
Good evening. Hi, as Mrs. Wagenfield stated, my name is Amanda White. I am the Student Family Support Specialist at Highland, and it's my 2nd year in that position. And I absolutely love it at Highland. And one thing that I would love for you to leave with tonight is an understanding of why Highland is such a great place for our Hamilton students to learn and to grow. And I think one of the things that makes that true is that our administrative team and our staff really value and understand the connection between academic learning and academic achievement and students' social, emotional, and behavioral wellness. And so along that line, one of my roles at Highland is to coordinate our Positive Behavioral Intervention and Supports, or PBIS, system. And PBIS involves teaching students a set of expected behaviors and then providing positive reinforcement when they are showing those behaviors. It also incorporates tiered supports for students who may not be able to demonstrate those behaviors or may need more intervention to be able to do so. And so it is with, PBIS has been shown to improve student behavior and school climate, but also to improve student achievement. And so it is with great excitement that I share with you that Highland received the PBIS State Gold Award for the 21-22 school year. Yay! Thank you. We were one of only 41 buildings in the state to receive that award, and I think that's really a testament to the hard work of our staff and also to the supports that are available to the students at Highland. One other thing that I think makes Highland a really great place is that we understand that true support for our students starts with our staff feeling supported and valued and cared for. And so we also had the opportunity last year to participate, to participate in a pilot program through the Ohio School Wellness Initiative, which focused on student support teams, but also on staff wellness. And that allowed us to partner with 1 in 5 and Freshman Campus in October to host a staff wellness summit, which was a half day during a professional development day that provided individualized opportunities for our staff to focus on their own wellness. It was very well received, and I would love to read to you a staff quote from the exit survey that I think really encompasses why it was so well received. And so one of our staff said, "Today's Wellness Summit was an encouraging reminder that in order to be effective as teachers, we must first take care of ourselves and our own needs." And I think that having our teachers feel valued and supported is the first step to having our students feel valued and supported. So as Mrs. Wagenfield and Mr. Britton mentioned, we have worked on sort of streamlining our systems this year. One other thing we have done is make sure that all the systems that we have at Highland are talking to each other and working together In addition to TBTs, we've worked to streamline our MTSS process. So MTSS is our multi-tiered systems of support. So we've linked the meetings for tiered behavioral supports and academic supports together. And our office team is holding monthly grade level meetings, looking at what supports are needed for individual students, as well as whether the supports that are in place for them are being effective. We really wanted to streamline the way that students get support and get access to support, both internally at Highland as well as with our community partners. And we also wanted to make sure we were looking at whether the supports that were in place were working for those students. One other thing that this alignment has helped with is to build in the sustainability of our PBIS system. We want to integrate programming within existing school systems, incorporate more shareholders, and continue to link our academics to overall student support. So one example of a way that we've done that this year is we have an opportunity for students to shop monthly with their positive points at a reward store, and this year that is being run by our student council at Highland. And with that, I'll thank you for your time and turn it over to Mr. Britton to talk a little more about our community events. Thank you.
I'm so excited about all the things that we've done. I'm so proud of this team and everybody back at Highland that has worked so hard to make these supports in place. And of course, our third building block is building community. This year, we focused on renewing our Adopt-a-School partners, both renewing our partnerships we've had in the past, but building new ones as well, with financial and volunteer opportunities in school and out in the community. We're expanding our community events. Again, we're focusing on community. We want the community to be able to come back into our building and us get out into our neighborhoods to really understand the needs and support everywhere we can. We're growing with our Parent-Teacher Council. We are expanding our membership. Last year, we just had a few of our neighborhoods represented, and this year, all 4 of our neighborhoods that make up Highland are represented on our Parent-Teacher Council. One of those events was our National Walk to School Day, and I want to thank Mr. Holbrook, Mrs. Blevins, and Mrs. Matthews for joining us at that event, and Hamilton City Police Department partnering with us to build safer routes for our students to and from school. And I don't know if you saw it on Channel 12 a few times, but we also built a brand new outdoor classroom at Highland, and it's getting our kids outside and bringing that learning, expanding outside of our classrooms and into our neighborhood. Here are just a few highlights from this year. We had Booktoberfest in Milliken Woods, Holiday Around the World Night last night. We brought Hispanic Heritage Night, which was new to Highland this year, inviting special guests from the community to work and talk with our students, and continuing our partnership with the YMCA, as well as building a new partnership with our Boys and Girls Club to build a robust before and after school program to, again, focus on academic and social and emotional growth before and after school to really give a whole well-rounded day for those who need that. There are too many wonderful things to share. I could talk to you all night about how proud I am of Highland and everything that we've done. It really couldn't be possible without our students, staff, and families. So once again, I just want to thank you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for supporting Highland so we can do the work every day in and out with our families, students, and staff. So thank you for your time this evening.
Mr. Britton, I just want to make a comment. It's pretty obvious your enthusiasm. And,
We love what we do, Mrs. Baker.
And the leadership. So, you know, congratulations to all of you, and especially on that gold award. Great job, and thanks for what you're doing for our kids.
Thank you.
Mr. Britton,
Mr. Isgro.
again, every 2 weeks or every once a month, we have schools come in and talk about their programs, and they're all great. It's unique too, because not only are you here, but all your teams here, you got teachers here to support
The Linden staff is supporting us, but we got our team and some of our teachers as well.
And then you go and you have these programs after school where teachers and people are helping you out. It's just a good leadership on your part.
Thank you.
That want them to work for you this way. But I think it's important because you got them out in the community. You've got teachers that are working hard to get these kids educated and raise these scores. I applaud you and your staff and everyone to get this done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Britton, I want to go along with what they were saying about what you're doing over there. I keep hearing all the schools, and some of them are a little bit different on what they do, but everybody is finding out what's best for their kids. It's not the district saying, you got to do this program, you got to do it this way. It's what works best for you. We all have the same goal of student learning. We want to raise that achievement. We want to decrease behavior. We want to encourage positive behavior.
Hey, I like it, Mr.
Okay. And every school is doing that in a different way. I love what you guys are doing over there and getting together and getting buy-in with the community. I like the learning walkthroughs. Back in graduate school, managing by walking around. But it's the same concept of learning what's going on in the classrooms, and not just you doing it, but having, as I understand it, other staff doing it too.
It's our whole team up here that participates in
Everybody
this.
walking around. I think that's great. One thing I have not heard another school talk about, though, was that caring for the staff too, and having that event, that special event to because teachers, you guys, they're front line, and they need that care, and I'm glad that you've enveloped that into what you've been doing in the school.
Thank you. It's
I
important
applaud
to
you
do
for
so.
all the things you're doing. It's for good things. So keep up the good work.
Thank you, Mr.
Hey, I'm sorry, I've just got one quick question.
ma'am.
You piqued my interest when you said you're partnering with Boys and Girls Club. So is this the first year that you've had a club at the school?
So we've been partnering with them since last year, and we met with both the YMCA and Boys and Girls Club because we want to honor both programs.
Right.
We are in works where in January this year we'll start introducing our first set of students on in, and they're going to be partnering both during the school day and in the evening to provide both support during the day with students and teachers, and then after school care and some meal options as well.
I'm just so happy to hear that. In my prior life as president of Butler County United Way, I always encouraged and wanted the Boys and Girls Club to reach out and have programming at the schools because we've got such great buildings. So I'm so happy to hear that that's actually happening.
We're
So,
very excited too.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. It's the whole team together. I appreciate that, sir.
Excitement is only because of excitement is showing up every day. It only tells me. It also makes it super easy. What you guys are doing to continue to support.
Thank you.
I'm happy to see you guys come.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Britton, I can remember 2 years ago when we sat down at Ridgeway Elementary and spoke about this principalship. I don't think you had any idea the year that you were going to have last year.
No, sir.
But what I was confident in was your ability to lead and your ability to work with people. And it speaks volumes, you know, Becca and Meg and Amanda coming up here. It's very apparent that it isn't just a check mark. They're enthusiastic and they're invested in this process. You know, and Ellie having her first year at Highland, you know, I couldn't think of someone better for her to learn and grow from. And I mean that with all sincerity. You are doing, I've told you this, you're a leader. You're doing a fantastic job. You've gotten buy-in from all the different pieces that you need buy-in from, and now you're leading, and I am so looking forward to seeing what the future holds for yourself as well as Highland Elementary. Thank you all for all your service.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. Let me shift this a little bit so you can. Okay. Good evening. Thank you so much for having us here tonight to share about the wonderful staff and community that is Linden Elementary. My name is Brady Hazelwood.
And I'm Michelle Connerman.
And we are the proud admin team of this amazing school. So this is year one for us as an admin team. Upon becoming the admin team of Linden, we sat down and had one-on-one meetings with every staff member who serves our Linden Leopards. We wanted to hear from each individual person before we started the 22-23 school year. From these meetings, it was clear we needed to unify as one. We are one team, one staff, one family, one community. We are one Linden. So we have three main areas of focus during our first year at Linden: growing the culture for staff and students, building up our community as a staff, and establishing community partnerships and relationships to bring experiences to our students, and simply listening to our staff to identify the needs and wants for Linden. We are excited to share our growth as one Linden in these areas with you this evening.
So let's talk about staff culture. We love to have fun. Miss Hazelwood and I, they're laughing because they know, we have a lot of common strengths. Positivity and enthusiasm are just a couple of traits that helped us to build the staff culture at Linden. Here are just a few incentives of what we have going on. We started the year with a scavenger hunt bingo. We sent staff throughout the building. We mixed up the teams and the grade levels and sent them on their way, and they had a lot of fun. Every Friday, we do two things. We have a staff appreciation cart that we roll throughout the building. Staff members write shout outs to each other throughout the week, and we take that cart and those shout outs every Friday and read those individually to staff, usually in front of students, very publicly. Sometimes we have a megaphone, and we usually have music with us. We love to have fun. It's just great. Every Friday morning, we also play a game called Guess That Staff Member. This was actually inspired by Mr. Holbrook's activity of having staff members write down facts about themselves, but we added a little twist. Each staff member had to add a walk-up song, as you would hear in a baseball game, and we play that song. We then have staff members call in radio style, caller number 10, caller number 15, to extension 7074. The correct winner always gets a Sonic drink the next Friday. These two events are the highlights of our week, and we look forward to Fridays for that reason. We have compliment notebooks floating around the building. The directions are written on the cover. It's kind of hard to see, but it says, "This is a compliment notebook. Read the compliment on the last page. It is for you. Then write a compliment and pass it to another staff member." We have two notebooks going around to mailboxes. They've even crossed our desks a few times, and it's always nice to read. And of course, everyone loves a good pun. We have hand-delivered various snacks and treats for our staff with a creative message. Miss Hazelwood is the queen of puns. She always comes up with those lovely statements. And we intentionally take time for team-building activities. We've built in activities throughout the year, such as surprise, we're playing board games, or the most competitive game of hide and seek throughout the building I've ever seen, and an Ozobot challenge, just to name a few. As a staff, we have created our collective greatness. Here are a few highlights. Our staff has over 757 years of experience. There are currently over 60 certifications held by our staff, including a wide variety of instructional certifications, scuba diving, adoption, and we even have a Porsche certified instructor. In September, we honored Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. This hit very close to home for one of our own Linden family members. Her son is currently battling leukemia. The staff rallied together to organize a Wear Orange Day, raise donations, and even had students create and decorate orange ribbons to hang throughout the building. We have a December calendar. There are many events that celebrate staff in various ways, build staff rapport, provide community outreach. We have a canned food drive as well as a toiletry drive for the caring closet. And of course, we have fun and games included on that calendar as well. At the beginning of the year, we noticed that students were wearing a great amount of clothing that had positive messages. So we decided to start Positive Talk Tuesday. Every Tuesday, staff and students proudly wear their positive messages, and we look forward to seeing them each week. A local elementary school outside of Hamilton has even taken this positive activity and implemented it in their building. It's been really fun to see how contagious positivity can be. We've also invested a lot of time to intentionally build relationships with students at Linden. We do this on a daily basis by creating positive rewards with students. Music Mondays. Ms. Hazelwood has the largest rolling speaker I've ever seen, and it puts out a beautiful sound on Monday mornings. So we love to greet students with music. We have intentional postcards that we mail home to students, and we're always celebrating students' work and achievement.
At Linden Elementary, we are blessed with amazing instructional coaches, Katie Cook and Debbie Shadrack, who are with us this evening, as well as teaching staff that is truly hungry for growing and learning. We wanted to focus on growing our staff into an active instructional community. We first started with having purposeful vertical conversations in English language arts and math. Our teachers wanted to find out what they could do to best support our Linden learners as they prepare for the next grade, but also communicate to the grade prior for what they need in order to be successful when they get to them. We use our data chats in response to what our staff needs, whether that's instructional strategies, reinforcing learning from PD days, or even how to dive deeper in our questioning with students with depth of knowledge. We are intentional in utilizing that time to truly grow our teachers. We took the opportunity to utilize building time on November's PD Day to allow our teachers to take the lead and share their instructional passions with their colleagues by hosting our first Passion 30. The concept is this: what passion do you have that you can share with colleagues for 30 minutes and welcome them to share in your success in the classroom? For our first Passion 30, we had 12 very unique sessions where teachers teamed up to share their passions. This has been a stepping stone for our teachers to want to continue sharing their passions at our upcoming February showcase. Our instructional coaches are also hosting a coaching cohort where they are coming alongside our teachers for coaching cycles to help propel them forward with their instruction. Another instructional tool we started actually just last week is Peer Pop-In Bingo. We like games at Linden, and everyone's very motivated with bingo. The concept is simple. Each teacher hangs an invitation game board outside of their classroom. They highlight the squares that they would like to welcome teachers into their room to observe and learn from, and then they have their game board where they get to find time in their day to go observe each other and learn. And the response already has been huge. We have cross-curricular teachers observing each other. We have intermediate teachers and primary teachers having conversations and building those connections. At the end, when the teachers do win a bingo, they get to spin a prize wheel for a fun prize. We have to give prizes, right? We are also intentional about providing opportunities for our teachers to go observe other teachers in Hamilton City schools. And we are blessed with amazing teachers in this building who, and everybody can always learn something new. So we're excited to help share that with them.
We have hosted and participated in many community events at Linden this year, including a back-to-school bash sponsored by our community partner, One Church, the Homecoming Parade, Linden's first annual Pumpkin Festival, the Veterans Day Memorial Visit and Program by our second grade classes, and the unveiling of Nolan's Memorial Buddy Bench in memory of Nolan Jones. We've also built various community partnerships, including City of Character, which will sponsor our Character Carnival in the spring, 17 Strong, Hamilton Healthy Coalition, which includes a book tour for all elementaries with local author Marianne Reed, 80 Acres, Kiwanis Club, Kelly's Bakery, Lane Library, Pink Ribbon Girls. Our staff and students have raised over $839 for their organization. Little Blue Football and Cheerleading, the Lindenwold Ledger, and Protocol Partners.
We are always reflecting as an administrative team. What went well? What can we adjust for next time? What do we need to anticipate? So when wanting to listen to authentic feedback, building needs, and system needs, we conducted a feedback activity with our BLT. BLT members were put into groups of 4, and they were given a list of 6 questions. I believe Linden is working well in these areas. I want to see Linden grow in these ways. I want to see Linden change in these ways. What do you need from your leadership at Linden? If you could describe the culture of Linden in one word, what would it be? And what systems do we still need at Linden to help support our staff and students? Year 1 is all about the listening. So staff members, BLT members answered these questions on Post-its as a team and put them up on chart papers around the room. The next step in this activity, and on the screen you can see some of the words that were repeated in that one word describing our culture. The next step, we then charged our BLT leadership team to take this activity back to their grade level teams and lead them through that feedback activity. Our third step in this process, we have spoken a lot to our teachers these past 2 years with the new OTES rubric about student-led learning. Well, this activity helped us model staff-led leadership. We broke our BLT up into groups and assigned them one of the 6 questions to read and analyze. They first had to sort the responses into one of 3 areas. Is it academic related, is it SEL related, or is it behavior related? And that's student behaviors and adult behaviors. Then the next step, they had to individually take those statements and put them in order from their top 5 most important to, the least important within their top 5. Our last step in this process at our next BLT meeting will then to find commonality within those answers, and that's truly going to drive our focus as we start laying that groundwork as we go into year 2. It was Benjamin Franklin who said, "Tell me and I forget, teach me and I may remember, involve me and I learn." So let's talk about some future things happening at Linden. Our Linden learners not only need instruction in academics SEL learning, they also need the opportunity to build, create, test something, adjust it, try it again. And what we have found is a student who may struggle with reading comes to life when they're building something or creating something with their own materials. This is where our new Linnovation Hub comes in. So we are actively working on funding and acquiring supplies to bring this to fruition by next school year. We are in phase 1. We do have some supplies starting to come in and are working with our community partnerships to bring a variety of hands-on learning experiences to our Linden learners, whether that's robotics, coding, circuitry, building, creating hydroponics. Literally, the sky's the limit. So that is something new and upcoming that we are working towards here at Linden, and we have a couple more things to share.
We are also proud to share that we are in the process of raising just under $20,000 in order to bring an outdoor learning classroom to Linden Elementary. This classroom is unique in its size and is wheelchair accessible so that all of our students can benefit from this learning space. We are a quarter of the way there in our funding goal and are actively working with partners in our local community groups to make this dream come true. We are also hopeful that a book vending machine will be in our near future. We have recently applied for the Barbara Bush grant to make this possible as well.
Michelle and I both want to express our gratitude to all board members, Mr. Holbrook, Mr. Wright, Mrs. Blevins, for this wonderful opportunity to lead and serve our amazing Linden staff, students, families, and the community. Together, we are One Linden. Thank you. There was no reward for coming tonight. This is all on their own. But we do appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Now, one thing, if you need a little expert advice on how to do an outdoor learning center, there's a young man sitting in here that's probably done a few of them. Isn't that right, Mr. Britton?
Yes. Actually, last year I helped bring the outdoor classroom because I was the AP at Highland.
Oh, okay.
So I know a little thing or two
Okay.
about that outdoor classroom.
Got me.
Uh-huh. And the book vending machine and the...
Yeah.
What else is Highland? No, I'm kidding.
But the one thing, years ago when I first came on the board, the one thing that struck me about Linden was, and I think they still do this, they take a time about this time of the year where teachers will babysit almost, I want to say, the children
Next.
of needs so the parents can go out and maybe have dinner or...
Next Thursday night.
Okay.
We are, sir.
That is one of the most amazing things that people don't hear about or think about, that teachers would take their own time to help out that way, and that's part of the community.
It is.
And that's part
Absolutely.
of leadership in schools. So that always struck me. So,
Yep.
yeah, it sounds like you guys are got it. I mean, you're always having fun. So, but thank you for all your hard work.
Thank you, sir.
Just listening to both presentations today, the energy that the leadership staffs have. If I was a teacher, I'd want to be in one of your buildings, just because you make working fun, being a teacher fun. And being a teacher today is a tough, tough job. And it's hard on the teachers, and you're trying to make it a little bit easier. I mean, we're talking about all the fun and games, but it helps relieve that stress, and I commend you for that.
It fills their bucket a little bit.
Right. And at the same time, you're giving the support that they need to be good teachers. And you have a great staff down there. Keep the work, good work up.
Really exciting. Well, you know, thank you guys for everything that you're doing, just bringing the excitement again to our kids. Because we don't know what kids go home to or whatever come from. So you guys provide that excitement for them and that enthusiasm, and then all the creative way that you make learning fun. And I appreciate the fact of how you pour into the staff, because sometimes, you know, people work on jobs every day that they hate being at, they dread going in. So the fact that you guys are excited about that, you guys are intentional about pouring into your staff and making sure that you can provide a great environment for them to want to, you know, teach in and be at is really exciting for me. Because, you know, no one wants to be in an environment where they have to spend, where they spend most of their time, that's how they make their living, and they hate it. So I'm so glad you guys enjoy it, and that you guys are here to support. So thank you guys for being here to support and be a part of this board meeting. It's always good to see great smiling faces out here in the audience. So yeah, come back same time, same place. Invite you guys out. So, and we can go for a round of bingo, because, hey. So, no, but
Ooh, board meeting bingo. That could be fun. Yes.
Oh, you don't want that.
Oh, you don't want that? Okay. Okay.
But
thank you guys.
Thank you.
I just want to go along with what everybody else is saying about the enthusiasm. But I think doing those fun things with activities, just like we were talking about earlier, how you support one another, and teachers need that care. That's so important. And if they're enjoying working with their colleagues, they're going to work better with their colleagues, and that's the name of the game. But what I think to me was interesting, there was an educator years ago called Harry Wong. Do you remember Harry Wong? I forget what he wrote. You still got the book? And I forget, what was the book, Mike? First days or whatever. Yeah, and he had a quote in there, and this applies to all of you. He never had an original thought. He stole ideas from everybody. And I bet you when each one of you guys, schools were giving your presentation, oh, I want to steal that one, right? And oh, I want to steal the lab. I want to do this. And that's what it's all about. When teachers go into another room, they're learning from each other. They're stealing ideas. They're stealing different ways of positivity, like taking the cart around and doing those things. Those are so important for what we do in the school. So I applaud you. Keep doing those type of things, because it's only going to reap you great benefits. So thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yes. We see you. Thank you.
My favorite hoodie is a.
Brandy and Michelle.
I was gonna say.
For those that may not be aware, this is Brandy's first year as principal. This is also Michelle's first year as assistant principal. And when we sat down with both of them, one of the things that was important to myself, Mr. Wright, and Mrs. Blevins was to build culture. Linden has a fantastic staff, as do all of our buildings, but that staff is a very strong, close-knit staff that you know, COVID was hard on everyone, and I think it was particularly difficult on that staff, and they have done a wonderful job re-energizing, you know, that entire staff. And energized teachers bring energized students, and they feed off that, and they feed off the two of you. And you guys wake up with more energy than I have anymore. I can tell you that right now, but your leadership is very much appreciated. You've been there 6 months, basically, and you've made a huge, huge positive difference. Thank you. Thank your staff for everything that you do for the students of Hamilton.
Just on one side note, I have to tell you that the favorite hoodie that I have is Linden Elementary with the, so thank you.
These guys aren't competitive at all either.
Okay, on to business. I don't believe we have anyone for public participation. Board members, you've received copies of the district's calendar for 2023-24 and 2024-25. Those need to be approved tonight. May I have a motion to approve those calendars?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Mr. Frazier?
Mr. Isgro?
Yes.
Mrs. Matthews?
Yes.
Mr. Sprague?
Yes.
Mrs. Baker?
Yes.
Mr. Davidson?
Yes.
Mr. Holbrook?
Yes, I'm going to go off script a little bit tonight. I'm going to ask Mr. Sprague to join me up front here.
Uh-oh. Am I being fired?
I'm pretty certain I don't have the authority to do that.
I bet you wish you did.
Sorry, that was funny.
Mr. Sprague, for the last 2 years, you have served this board as president of the Hamilton City School District. I couldn't think of 2 more trying years to be the president of a school board than the last 2 years. And so tonight, I know, is your last meeting as board president as we transition into different leadership. But I want to give you this plaque in recognition of exemplary service and leadership as the board president of Hamilton City Schools.
Thanks, Mike. I've aged. Can I just, I was going to save this till later, but if it's okay with you. I've served, I'm still on the board for 3 more years. But it's been 2 years as president, 2 years as vice president. Probably the most difficult times in education that any school district has ever faced. And I know you guys you obviously went through it. Our teachers went through it. Our staffs went through it. All our administrators, and most importantly, our students went through it. Hard times. And I don't want to go back to that, obviously. And we have times coming, too, that are difficult. As a board, we made decisions that were difficult to do. And that we made decisions that were not always popular. We understand that. But we always made decisions together with our senior administrative staff, and we did it for the betterment of our kids, what we thought was best. And I've been honored to sit here with these 4 other individuals who we come from different walks of life, but we all come together for one thing, and that's for our kids. We don't have an axe to grind. We don't have a secret agenda. We want to see what's best for our schools, for our kids, and our community. And we want to see that for our students. For our teachers. And those are difficult things to do. So I just want to tell my cohorts up here, I've been honored to work with all of you. And I've been honored to work with Mike and Andrea and Jeremy. We have a great team here. I put our team up to anybody in the state. The things that we do in Hamilton, what you do as teachers in Hamilton, are phenomenal. And I just want to tell you that. And if I may, this is from me. I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. And a Happy New Year. So anyway, that's my speech. I got it done, out of the way. There you go, Mike. All right. Thank you.
Lauren, I'm going to say that, having been the president and vice president several years ago, it's not an easy job. And then what you went through as the president during the COVID crisis and other things, you've held a good team together, and the encouragement from this, administration, you, other board members, to our staff and students, you should be congratulated. You've done an excellent job at this.
Thanks.
Lauren?
Don't do it, Mike.
you know that you're one of my very dearest friends, and I just want you to know, and times we don't agree, but we always come out with common solution. And I have respected you very much in your role, and you've been a great leader. So.
And I know you'll be a good leader too, a great leader too, so. But
Lauren, I agree.
Okay, back to superintendent comments. Tonight, Michael Ryan from the city came and spoke to us, but to demonstrate some of the additional things that we do with the city is tonight you have for consideration on the board agenda an intergovernmental agreement between the city of Hamilton and Hamilton City Schools. And we do this annually, and this is for road salt and de-icing operations, but we work collaboratively with the city on that, especially with our parking lots and things of that nature when it gets to, be bad weather. But the point is that it's always been a collaborative event, and it just is one little thing that demonstrates the variety of collaboration we have with the city. Also, and one of the things that I truly value with our students are experiences, and I've IWI wrestling tournament. Also have a charitable donation for PGIS incentives, and finally, we're having some mic problems, but those are, that's a summary of what we have on the board agenda this evening.
thanks, Mike. Going on, board members, you have a consent agenda that you've received and reviewed in human resources, technology, business operations, curriculum instruction, and special education. I'd like a motion to approve those.
I'll make the motion, sir.
I'll second.
Mr. Frazier?
Mrs. Matthews?
Yes.
Mr. Sprague?
Yes.
Mrs. Baker?
Yes.
Mr. Davidson?
Yes.
Mr. Isgrove?
Yes.
And Mr. Frazier, it is your time to shine.
All right. We have several items up for your consideration this evening. First is the treasurer's reports, which includes a cash position report and also a cash flow analysis report. The cash flow analysis report is a new style report this month. It just kind of takes a little deeper dive into the financials for the monthly numbers. Several pages long, it's a little more detail, but I think it provides the community with, some insight into how things are going. It's a little prettier. It's got some nice graphs and things of that nature on there as well. We also have a recommendation for the appointment of a Mr. Chuck Goins to the Lane Public Library Board of Trustees for a 7-year term beginning January 1st, 2023. We have a couple fund authorizations. Cultural Club at Hamilton High School will be fund number 200-9498. And an environmental club also at Hamilton High School, which will be fund number 200-9599 both of those were at the recommendation of Mr. Zari. We have a confirming purchase order for a Brookwood fundraiser from the World's Finest Chocolate. And we also have a couple donations tonight. One is for various age-appropriate kid toys valued at $600 from Provision Living at Westchester, and a $100 grant to the Winter Running Club from L.A. Foster, Inc. And those are my items for this evening.
Thank you very much, Mr. Frazier. I do like the new recording, your financial reports, and it does have nice graphics. Good job, good job. Very colorful, if you haven't seen it yet. So I need a motion to approve the financial report.
So moved.
Second.
Okay.
Mr. Frazier?
Mr. Sprague?
Yes.
Mrs. Baker?
Yes.
Mr. Davidson?
Yes.
Mr. Isgro?
Yes.
Mrs. Matthews?
I don't believe there's any other business brought up to the board tonight. Our next meeting will be on Thursday, January 12th, beginning at 4 o'clock. We will be in executive session, then going into our organizational meeting and ending with our regular business meeting. Since there's no other business in front of us, I'd like a motion to be adjourned.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody. There you go, Meg.